Well, one of the falsehoods the left likes to spread about the president is that he's afraid of strong women. Well, one of the most powerful moments, I think, of last night's convention was the video featuring many of the strong women that work for President Trump, including senior campaign advisor Mercedes Schlapp. And
you're what? You've got 70, 80 years on this earth. What are you going to do with it? Are you going to make that difference? Are you going to say, I was there for the big battles in our country to save America?
It's what I feel very much called to do ever since I was a very young girl.
Well, Mercedes is, of course, married to Matt Schlapp, chairman of the American Conservative Union, who is joining us now. Matt, great to see you again.
Kind of sounds like how I get started every morning with my wife saying, hey, buddy, are you going to make a difference or not?
Well, they say there's always a strong woman behind a strong man. But how cool was it to see Mercedes in that video, especially after we see the president being constantly attacked for being afraid of strong women?
Well, Sean Spicer understands this, but in the years of Trump, it's been, let's say, there's been a lot of pain associated with being somebody who was a swamp Republican operative and someone who served previous Republican administrations, because being an outsider, he really took a 2x4 to the city, which it really needed, by the way. And so I kind of turned on the Republican convention last night, just needing the therapy of knowing I'm not alone in believing that, like, we shouldn't be burning down our cities and saying all cops are racist and all this extremism of the moment. And then I saw the video and got to see my daughters in the video, and I got to see what Mercy said. And I have to say, for me, I'm not trying to get emotional here, but I needed that. And I think a lot of people around the country needed to hear that, too.
Yeah, that's got to have felt pretty cool. You know, Matt, it was interesting. The media went nuts about the president's use and backdrop of the White House. Let me play you or show you a couple headlines and play you sound. The Washington Post headline was, Trump uses tools of government in re-election effort. First Lady's Rose Garden speech, Pompeo's address, naturalization ceremony, raise issue of separation of politics and official business. Then there was this other headline in CNN, already treading on ethical lines by hosting his convention partly from the White House. Trump burst past them in his taped appearances, issuing a pardon and presiding over a naturalization ceremony. And then, of course, Joy Reid, I have to get this one in. Here's what she had to say, because it's so important.
They have used the property of the American people, these sacred properties that are owned by the American people, for politics tonight in a way that I think is offensive, I think is wrong.
Matt, I was going to talk to you about these secret properties, but I don't want anyone to know that the White House is a secret. So can we just stick to the media's outrage on how the president did this?
I mean, it is unbelievable. If he leaves the White House and has a campaign event, they accuse him of being a super spreader of Chinese corona. Basically, what they're trying to do is make it impossible for the president of the United States to actually engage the American people in a conversation about why he should get 4 more years in the White House. This is all politics. It's repugnant. All the lawyers signed off on everything that was done at the convention. And I mean, God forbid the American people get to hear from their president to make a free decision as to whether or not they want to give him 4 more years. And I think what's interesting is Joe Biden is not waging a campaign. He literally has been in hiding. He does one event every 3 days. Have I seen Joy Reid criticize the fact that Joe Biden is trying to not have a campaign? Of course not. They know that the more people have to try to make sense of what Joe Biden says, the better chance Donald Trump has of getting 4 more years.
Oh, by the way, I just want to make this point before, is that the Hatch Act, which they all refer to, specifically carves out the president and the vice president. They can have all the issue that they want, but that's the law. And unfortunately, they just don't like that it benefits him.
It also carves out Mike Pompeo, who was confirmed by the Senate. So the Hatch Act is only for people that aren't confirmed by the Senate and other kind of more mid-level positions. And even the Hatch Act doesn't apply here, because none of this occurred during working hours, and all the lawyers have signed off on it. So, you know, after you've been impeached, you've been called a traitor, you've had your every bit of financial documentation combed over by a bunch of lawyers I just think the American people are exhausted of this rooster that crows every couple of moments of Trump breaking some mythical law.
Yeah, I think so. And something else we saw last night was Nick Sandmann, this Covington school kid who tried to get canceled. I want to play a quick clip from his speech. Take a listen.
I learned what was happening to me had a name. It was called being canceled, as in annulled, as in revoked, as in made void. Canceled is what's happening to people around this country who refuse to be silenced by the far left.
Well, I don't think that CNN learned its lesson. We even had Joe Lockhart tweet this: I'm watching tonight because it's important, but I don't have to watch this snot-nosed entitled kid from Kentucky. I mean, how absurd. Still trying to attack this 18-year-old kid after he won, obviously, against CNN. But they just don't get it seems like.
I love the tweet. I can't remember who said it. Is Nick Sandmann might be the highest paid employee at CNN after his legal victory. I think this is, I don't have any sons. If I had a son, I'd love it to be Nick Sandmann. I think he's a young man of great class. They tried to literally destroy his life because he supports the president and had the audacity to march for unborn children at the March for Life. And I'm proud of him. I'm so glad he supports the president. And I think there's millions of really decent Americans. I think there's more than those that want to rip America apart. And Nick Sandmann is a personification of what's right with America.
He literally did everything that you tell a son or daughter to do in a difficult situation. Keep your composure. Don't go nuts. I mean, it was amazing. But you're right. The media went after him because of what he stood for and what he was there to march for. I appreciate you being here again, Matt. Congratulations to your family, to Mercy, to the girls who were in the video last night. It was very powerful, and I'm sure you were very proud as a husband and a father.
Yeah, I'm proud of my wife. I'm proud of what she's done for this country. It's been a long 4 years. And I'm most particularly proud that she kept us together as a family, and that I don't know what's in store for us in the days and years to come, but I think she's been a great role model for our kids, and I love her for it.
All right. Well, thanks for being here with us today.